All right, welcome back to the Mastering Risk podcast. I am your host, Dr. D. Today, we are going to talk about the 8 free things that you can do to get ready for 2026 for you and your business. Things that are within your control that you can absolutely make a difference with, and it costs absolutely no money. So sit back, grab yourself your favorite beverage. Let's get at it. All right, thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break here from our last couple episodes where we talk about the disruptions on AI. Lots of great engagements, dozens of comments over on TikTok. Absolutely love it. Keep engaging. Keep jumping on the YouTube. We appreciate a like and subscribe and all of that. Follow us on the podcast, on your favorite podcast app. Here at Mastering Risk, what we're all about is trying to give you the tools. Give you the tools to allow your small business, your entrepreneurial venture, Etsy store, Shopify store, or small business, $1 million, 2 to 10 employees, that type of thing. Give it a leg up in this disruptive decade that we're in the middle of. As well, if you don't take care of yourself, you're absolutely no good to your family and you're no good to your business. So we try to lean into the preparedness side of things as well. How do you get me ready to lead my business in a chaotic decade that is only going to get more spicy? So with that, today we're going to talk about the 8 things. Okay? 8 things that are absolutely free to you, take nothing but time and effort from you and no monetary investment whatsoever, that if you embrace those, you jump into those, and you take command and control of those, you will be ahead of everybody else. And while life is not about this rapid competition of beating each other over the head and winning, but if you want your business to succeed, if you want your entrepreneurial venture to get ahead, if you want to be the best position you can to deal with the chaotic episodes of 2026, which you can't control, by the way, which you're not in charge of, if you want to put yourself in that position, that's what we got here for today. Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff Donaldson. I add this because I have spent 15 years studying individual preparedness and small business emergency management. So just the small little guy, the mom and pop shop, people that are just starting out trying to make a business, people who have a side hustle, and individual families. How do we all work? How do we collectively get together and lead? I'm a professor in disaster and emergency management, and I own a company, Preparedness Labs Incorporated, over at preparednesslabs.ca. Check out our website. It's a Shopify store. Yeah, we got lots of stuff for sale, but we've got tons of free items that we offer to you on top of this YouTube channel, the podcast, our 5 social media feeds, our Substack that's going to get an article out there. We've been a little bit delayed in that. Have a lot of things on the go right now. And our mission is to provide you that free information to the best that we possibly can. And our moniker here at Preparedness Labs Incorporated and at Mastering Risk is non-apocalyptic, evidence-based risk, resilience, and preparedness education, which means the sky is not falling, but it is going to get messy. It also means that everything I tell you on this podcast, on this YouTube channel, and in all the shorts that are going to be made from this evolution, it's evidence-based. I can back it up with evidence to tell you it's true. It's not my belief. It's not my opinion. Frankly, nobody cares what your opinion is or what my opinion is what does the evidence and facts tell us, right? So the preparedness world is all full of people going, here are the top 10 things you need to buy if your first $1,000 as a prepper. That stuff is crap, right? Because I can challenge those people and say, show me your evidentiary support. Show me the data that says if I buy these 10 things, or if I take $1,000 and spend things, not that you think I'll be better, because nobody cares what you think. What actual evidence do you have to demonstrate to me that if I buy these things, there's a higher probability of a better post-event outcome? what I tell you, what I got on my magic scribbler here, it's based on hard, factual evidence. So the first thing we're going to get off right away, it's all about you. The first 3 things are about you. We always start off with the individual in preparedness and risk education, because if you don't take care of yourself, it is absolutely pointless for you to try to take care of anybody else. You're no good to your family, you're no good to your business, and you're no good to your community. You may want to serve your community, you may want to be that stalwart leader in your family, but if you don't invest the time and effort in taking care of yourself, it is fairly pointless. So the first thing we want to talk about is your physical health. Let's be clear. There are 3 things you control: diet, exercise, and sleep. Those are the 3 things that Medicine 3.0, and if you don't understand what that is, we can do a different podcast on it, but Google it, Medicine 3.0. If you look at that, those are the 3 things that are most impactful on the length and quality of your life. Whether you exercise regularly, whether you eat food. When I mean food, it's very, very simple. Food has a singular ingredient. Okay? This can of pop I have here, this is not food. It is a manufactured goods that is reasonably digestible by the human animal. Food has a single ingredient. So I don't care if you're a carnivore, vegetarian, pescatarian, omnivore, vegan, veganese, or whatever they're calling it nowadays. Eat food. Just single ingredient food, and you'll be fine. It's really that simple. Sleep lots, 7-8 hours, and exercise. The human body is designed to do 3 things: to periodically sprint, to walk long distances, like 5-10 kilometers, 3-7 miles is what you should be able to do without a problem, and periodically carry heavy loads. That's humanity. So invest the time and effort in taking care of your physical health. But do me a favor. This is not about beating yourself up, okay? So if you're obese and you look in the mirror and you're unhappy, great. That's the first step. Accept responsibility for your outcomes. It's a longitudinal road. You did not get out of shape overnight, so you're not going to get back into shape overnight. The point is making a targeted investment. It's free of charge. Yes, I'm sorry if you want to argue with me, but healthy food is far cheaper than manufactured goods and manufactured food in the center of the grocery aisle. The second thing that you want to focus on is your mental health, right? Exercise is the number 1 prescriptive recipe for great mental health. That will help a great deal. But we all live somewhat crazy lives, and this is a very disruptive society. And there's a lot of things happening to people that we care about, and a lot of the things that we disagree with. And that creates anxiety and stress in our life. How we choose to deal with that, well, that's 100% up to us. And as all the top podcasters, everybody's saying, Mel Robbins says it great, nobody's coming to help. It is nobody else's responsibility to help you. It is nobody else's responsibility to fix your mental health. That's yours. Get professional help if you want. Seek guidance. Seek ideas. But there are a few things that are within your control. Number 1, the people around you. There's a great saying in Hollywood, and I forget the actor, I think he's passed away, had said, surround yourself by people whose face light up when you walk into the room. Very basic, very simple recipe, but it is brilliant. It should be a privilege to be involved in your life. Family, friends, if on balance they bring more drama and more toxicity, then you kick them out of your life. It can be your brother, your sister, your parents. You let them go. Send them on their way. Now, this is not a big Walmart event and grabbing the speaker and doing that. This is simply just stop talking to them. Stop answering their texts, or answer their texts 3 days later, right? Or send their call to voicemail and call them back 2.5 days later. Even if it's your parents, if people bring on balance more toxicity and pain than joy, off they go. Now, you can't fire your boss. I know where you're going with this, right? You can't fire your boss. Fair enough. There is a certain level of toxicity that we have to deal with if we want to earn an income and we want to be in society. But when you remove everything that you have control of, you look at your calendar, is a physical expression of how much you care about yourself. Your calendar is a physical expression of how much you care about yourself. Look at your calendar, look at the commitments, take everything that you're being asked to do in your personal life, your professional life, your leisure, and everywhere else, and put it on a calendar and have a look at. If it's not at least 50% white space without any commitment, then I'm going to say to you, and I'm going to suggest, you don't really like yourself that much, because you're not giving yourself time to be, to enjoy life, to relax, to go hang out with the people that you want to hang out with. And the second part, and the last part of your mental health, is to just understand, and this is Mel Robbins' big point, and she is far greater at this than I am. You can't control what other people do. All you can control is how you choose to respond. So if the idiot is road raging, it is up to you to do nothing, smile at them, wave, and in your head, wish them a good day and hope whatever struggle it is they're facing, that they get over it soon. If people are angry and if Karen or Ken are showing up, and you just walk around them, right? I learned this from a friend of mine who's quite far advanced when it comes to this type of stoic thinking. And his favorite word is congratulations. When somebody gets into an argument with him and goes, well, you're stupid, and whatever, he'll just look at them and say, congratulations. And he'll walk away. That's it. Because he doesn't need any of this drama in his life. And if you're going to be confrontational, he just looks at you and smiles with a big smile. And he just says, congratulations, and walks away. And you have no idea what he's congratulating you for. You generally probably feel like an idiot because you're acting like a petulant toddler who didn't get their candy snack. But the point is, you can't control other people's actions. You can't control what they do. You can't order people to do what you want them to do. You can't change your behavior. All that you can do is no longer allow their behavior to cause you pain. If you're somebody who walks around and says, Mike made me mad, the problem is you. Other people don't make you mad. Other people do stupid things. You are the one who decides to get mad at it, and you are the one who decides to stay mad at it, right? You want joy and peace in your life? That's a verb. It takes activity from you. The third one we're going to talk about is your financial health, right? These are chaotic times. I did a couple of great podcasts about AI and businesses, corporate taxes, and the changes that are coming, and tons of people attacking me from all the sides. And I love that, by the way. If you disagree with me, hop onto the social media and tell me exactly what you think. I love to hear it. But your financial responsibility is right? It is nobody's job to pay your bills but you. It's not the government's role to pay your bills. Yes, we should have great social programs that when people take a knee and they fall, we gather around them and we pick them up. But nobody should be perpetually supported by the government. Not at all. Not whatsoever, unless you're working for them, of course. Or you earned a government pension from them for, you did say, 28 years in the Army, and you earned a pension. There's a Dave Ramsey, famous guy. Follow his baby step method and you'll be great. And there's a simpler saying about finances. If you spend less than you earn, you'll never need savings. And it's really that simple. I was a horrible person with finances right up until I was about 41. I'm 54 now. And it took about a decade to all the mistakes that I made. And I just use an 80-20 rule, right? I never spend more than 80% of what I earn. And I never let commitments, so rent, food, car, all those bills, all that can never be allowed to consume more than 50% of my money. So if that's not enough, I've got to spend less or earn more. My only two choices. So I'm not a financial expert. Don't change your life based on what I'm saying. I'm telling you, it's your responsibility to earn the necessary income to take care of your responsibilities. It's your responsibility, if it's not good, to make it good. And there are all kinds of methodologies out there. Dave Ramsey is a beautiful one. It's a simple one. Follow it. He's the expert. I'm not. But I am the expert in saying, when you look at people who are successful, in disasters, people who have better post-event outcomes, people whose businesses do better. What is the one ingredient in the middle? The first three they have. They have their physical, their mental, and their financial health dialed. No, they're not all big athletes with big ripped muscles and no drama in their life. No, but what they have is absolute control. And they know that it is nobody's responsibility but their own to maintain positive physical, mental, and financial health. So those are the three that you control. Next, we're going to move on to what we refer to here at Preparedness Labs Incorporated as your trifecta of preparedness plans. I want you to look through these three, through your business lens and through your family lens. These are the only three things you need to have, and they're detailed over on our website at preparednesslabs.ca. If you go up to the catalog and you click the free ones, up there is a 4-step plan to ready your family for preparedness. The guide is right there. If you want the YouTube or the written or the audio one, go to our YouTube channel, Mastering Risk. Click on playlists, you go to the playlist, and right down there is the roadmap to resilience. It tells you exactly what you need to do. It's free of charge. I won't know you're there. You don't have to leave any notes or anything. And every single video you need to turn your life around is right there, free of charge. Your trifecta of preparedness plans is having a shelter-in-place plan, is having an evacuation plan, and is having a plan for when you get fired. Shelter in place and evacuation. Why are they? Well, sometimes they're called bug in, bug out by people who like to try to sound tactical. And stay or go. Because in reality, no matter what this event is that's happening to you and your family, in your area, to your business, to the country, it doesn't matter what's going on. You have but two choices. You can shelter in your home, or you can evacuate your residence. That's it. You don't have any other choices. You don't need plans for floods and tornadoes and all this other stuff. You can shelter in place or you can evacuate. So have a plan and sheltering in place, and we detail it on our roadmap to resilience with all the pieces that you need in there of how to shelter and provide for your animalistic requirements for your family of food, water, shelter, health, safety, and security for a period of time. We recommend 14 days to shelter in place. I will comment on why the 14 days, because we've done evidence. Remember I said at the top of the podcast and the top of the episode that we were talking about evidence-based? Guess what? 93%, maybe 94%, of the critical infrastructure in North America that goes down because of a disaster is back up in 14 days. So if you want to bet, if you want evidence-based for how long you need to be able to shelter in place for, if you choose 14 days, you will be right 93.5% of the time. And we think that's great odds because society is essentially a functioning set of 10 sectors of critical infrastructure. When they go down, and they normally cascade once the power goes out, once they come back up, normalcy returns. You only got to cover the period of time when they're down, and 93.5% of the time in North America, they're back up in 14 days. That's data. So if somebody tells you, 6 months of food, ask them what their data is to back that up. Other than their opinion, because everybody's got one, it's like a certain body part you and I know. Ask them. If they say you need 6 months of food, say, okay, fantastic. Please show me your evidentiary support. And guess what? They're just won't. That's the way the world works. Freedom of speech, we love it. An evacuation. So if you do go, the roadmap to resilience and that free download from our Shopify store shows that when you evacuate, the number one thing that you have to have squared away, or we recommend, based on evidence, is a destination. Not a route, but you need to know exactly what home you're going to, whose residence, whose couch, and what's there waiting for you. It's the number one key thing you can do in an evacuation plan. Jumping on the highway and a long line of 14 hours of traffic, that is not success, right? That is not success. That's not an evacuation. That's throwing everybody on a highway to experience the hazard of the event together in their car. have a place to go. The next thing that you can do is when you're fired plan. And I've talked a lot about this on the last 2 episodes when we talked about the AI and potential job losses and things that are coming. The point being is everybody loses their current job. You will lose the job you have right now. You'll die, you'll get fired, you're retired, or you'll quit, right? There's some reason you'll leave it. And I hope for you that you get to terminate the current position you have at a time and place of your choosing. That equals your plan and you get to pursue your dreams. But there's a lot of people all over TikTok who are getting those calls on their smartphone and their TV on their laptop that's telling them, I'm joined by HR at 8 o'clock on Monday morning. Sorry, but you're terminated, right? Okay. Everybody gets their 24-hour pity party. I get it. Have your cry fest, your wah-wah, your wah-wee, oh, is me, I'm a victim, I'm oppressed, and all that other ridiculous crap. Have your 24 hours. You got to get up on your arse and get after it. So what we talk about in the download and the roadmap to resilience is the fact that you're going to have a plan for when you get fired. You know how you intend to replicate to the greatest extent possible the income you just lost, right? You've got a plan. You've thought it out, what training's required, what industry. You keep abreast of the openings. You understand that, because if the answer in today's world can't be you're going to dust off your CV, add a couple of things, and start sending out resumes. Companies now are getting 300, 500, 800 resumes, all with your qualifications for every single job opening. Your CV and going on Indeed or all these other AI-driven platforms that say, I magically can apply for 100 things, that's not your solution. Apply for 300 jobs, get 72 emails back, get 3 interviews, and get dropped in the end. If that's your strategy, you're setting yourself up for failure or a very difficult road. So know right now, if you're going to meet tomorrow morning when you show up for work, if you're fired, the 24 hours later, what plan are you exactly going to be put in place to replace that income? That's your responsibility. It's not somebody else's job to pay your bills when you get fired. That's uncomfortable, but welcome to the real world. That's the way it works. The next 2 things and the last 2 things we want to talk about are really interesting. And this is about learning about life, right? Have a strategy. And when you look at the data that supports those who achieve and those who don't achieve, those people who achieve are people who had a plan. Now, it doesn't actually go necessarily always to plan, and there are often bumps in your plan that side rail you or make it a little bit difficult. But if you have a strategy and a plan for where you're going, if I was to say to you, what does your 3 years look like? What does your 1 year look like? What are you working on over the next 6 months to improve your personal life, your professional life, your leisure, your relationships, and your family? Having a strategy, and we talk about that. There's a strategy module available on one of our courses that talks in detail. It's like 20 minutes of video in detail with a strategy plan, how to lay out, I'm here and I want to go here. Whether it's physical fitness, whether it's education, whether it's mental health, whether it's financial health, whether it's, leisure activities and sports. I'm here and I want to go there. You don't get there without a strategy. Your life should be something you're consistently and regularly working on. No, and I'm not talking about hours and hours sitting in front of a piece of paper and a computer typing up life strategy documents. I'm not talking about working 12 and 14 hours days and burning the candles at both ends to try to be the uber successful person. I'm talking about the barista. And I use this example all the time, and I won't use her name, but she is an absolutely brilliant, wonderful human being, and she's an artist. And she wants to sell her art. And she's a painter and a drawer. And it's a tough world right now with AI. But she's brilliant and talented. But she knows that right now, as she's building up her credibility in the art world, if you understand, it does take a long time, that while she's waiting for her true passion to kick off, that it's her responsibility to take care of herself. So she's a barista. And she's brilliant at it. She's great. People love her. People love coming to see her at her workplace. She's very good at what she does because she pours her heart and soul into the thing that pays her bills while she's waiting for her dream to kick off, right? So this is not about people chasing MBAs. This is not about people trying to be the Uber AI strategist. It's just about this wonderful human being who has a life goal, and she understands the pathway to get her art seen and in places. And she knows that's a decade-long process, and she's working it, and she's dedicated to it. But she also understands that in the interim period, it is her responsibility to pay her bills, to take care of her mental health, to take care of her physical health, and to make sure that she's prepared for life's punches upside the head, right? That's a perfect example. So no, it has nothing to do with going for the sky to be a millionaire, a billionaire, or some wild CEO job. No, it's just about everybody, regular working folk. What are you doing? Are you just grinding every day? That's a question you got to ask. And the last thing, and this is my favorite part about the top 8 free things that you can do, it's all about summing up the 7. So the 7, let's just recap here, are your physical, your financial, and your mental health. It's your shelter in place, your evacuation, and I'm got fired plan, and that wonderful life strategy. All 7 of those cost 0 money. They just take a little time and effort from you with a cheap pen and a cheap Hilroy scribbler to write down all the things and to plan life out. It's free, absolutely free. So no, you don't have an excuse not to do it. But number 8 is all about looking yourself in the mirror and saying, I'm going to build my reflection muscles. And that means I'm going to take the time and dedicated to sit back and analyze how I'm doing, to grab a wonderful beverage and to sit back and say, okay, this is my life. It's going generally the way I want it to. I got punched up periodically. Things aren't always working wonderfully, as it tends to do. But you sit down and you periodically pour yourself a cup of coffee and you reflect. And I have this set in my schedule once a month for 30 minutes. That's what I recommend in our book, Preparedness Simplified, Book 1, The Beginning. The ebook is available on our Shopify store. When I talk about reassessment and assessment, I'm talking, again, free of charge, a half an hour a month. I choose Sunday because Sunday on my calendar is my slow day, where I just slow the world down a little bit, to pause a little bit, to reflect, to have some inner spiritual time. And part of that is sitting back with my notebook and just reflecting. Is my life going the way I want it to? Is the thing that I'm trying to achieve successful? Am I working towards the goal? Do I have some toxic people in my life that need to get the poubelle, dans le garbage, get out? Do I have, should I be spending more time worried about my diet? Am I sleeping well? Am I healthy? I don't know. For those of you who've been following me for a while, earlier this year in 2025, I had a pretty significant operation in the hospital. I was on the table for 7.5 hours. And a very long recovery. Thankfully, everything turned out fine. Everybody gets something. I was fortunate that what I got was 100% curable. But what it tells you is, when I look back years before, all of the signs were there. I just never paused and took the time to sit back and reflect. Am I healthy? Are things working the way they should? This is about, for men, it's about your brotherhood. For women, it's about your sisterhood. Having a group of men or a group of women, a group of friends, where you can talk periodically about life, about, and reflect a little bit. How are we doing as friends? How's this relationship, this group of friends we have? How are we doing? How's everybody doing? To pick up and call a friend and say, hey, Jim, how you doing? Just checking in, my friend. Haven't heard from you in a little while. Thought how you did. I had a friend of mine on the other side of the country. Hadn't heard from him in a while. Hadn't seen him active on social media. The guy I only see like once a year or once every 2 years. And I just sent him an email. Just thinking of you. Just wondering how you doing. How's life? Are you okay? I hope you're rocking it. Hope you're chasing it. I got a response back from him. That was fantastic. It's about building that reflective muscle and understanding that unless you pay attention to your own self, to your own health, then you're likely to overload, right? So if you set about 30 minutes every month and you can't look at this camera or the phone you're watching me on, you can't look at this and tell me you don't have that 30 minutes. Okay? You have it. You're just choosing to do other things with it. And you sit back and reflect. Am I okay? Am I okay? And then sit with that thought. Think about your life. Think about where you're going. Think about the 7 things I talked about. Is everything in plan? Is everything in place? Is everybody happy? Is everybody healthy? Am I happy? Am I healthy? And then when you do that, you build that reflective muscle and you get better and better. Listen, there is nothing more uncomfortable for any of us than to look at that incredible person in the mirror and say, are you okay? You got to get good at that. It's just how life works. So thank you very much. Listen, this episode was all about understanding the 8 things that you can do that are free of charge that can set you up. Just imagine if you dialed in. And when I mean dialed in, I mean take yourself for where you are. This is an important point to remember. Don't beat yourself up. Don't blame yourself. Don't beat yourself down. Don't, woe is me, I'm an idiot, I'm done, I'm overweight, I'm out of shape, whatever. Don't do that. It is what it is. Here you are. Okay? Dial it in, which means you've got a plan to improve your physical, your mental, and your financial health. You're dialed in your trifecta of preparedness plans so you're able to deal with the punches that are coming your way in society. You've got a strategy and a goal overarching where you're taking your life, and you have a reflective muscle built that periodically you're going to sit back. You are steps and eons, I would argue, ahead of the general populace. Because why? Because you've decided to give a you-know-what about yourself. You've decided that you're worth it, that you're number one, that you're good, because I'm a dad. I can't be a dad if I don't take care of me, right? I can't do that job if I don't take care of me. It doesn't matter what I think, because guess what? If there's a big disaster, and I mean a political, an economic, or a natural disaster, and you're out of shape, stressed to the 9, and broke, do you really think that's the step? Do you really think that's the stage of life you want to be in when you've got to leap into a leadership role in your community or in your family or in your business? Think about your business and all the tough times that are coming and the stress that's going to be driving at you like a Mack truck, right? If you're already stressed out in life, if you're already out of shape, and if you're already finances near broke, and your business is having difficulty, my friend, that's a heart attack waiting to happen. And it is all up to you. You can do it. Thanks for following us here at Mastering Risk. Whether you're listening to us on the podcast, available on all platforms, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're seeing it through a number of shorts that come out across our feed, engage with us. Tell us what you feel. Tell us your opinion. And you know what? We do it because we think you're worth it. Take care and stay safe.